Hi everybody! My name is Hazel Gardiner and I'm a floral designer, but I also do lots of different things. I also create content for a lot of brands here on Instagram, and I'm also an educator running lots of virtual workshops and in-person workshops, hopefully when we can again. But a huge part of what I do in my brand is video, and I'll be talking you through about the importance of utilising video in your business. And you can be any kind of business from you don't have to be a maker, you can be a brand that's not front facing, but I think that there's a place for video in every business, and I'm just going to chat to you about like my top 5 tips and why it's so important. So I'll kick off with why should you do video? You might be watching this and thinking, oh, it's the last thing I want to do. I know we've got, it's a really strange time at the moment, but it's a really great time to work with video. People are now so used to seeing brands do video content, but if you're an individual, it doesn't have to be all shiny. That's the beauty of it. Everyone's used to kind of like lo-fi content, which means that you can just use your phone, which is perfect. It just makes it much more accessible. So yeah, don't feel that you have to have loads of kit. You really don't. You can just literally use your iPhone. I'm recording on my iPhone today, and yeah, it's just perfect. So it's just super easy to set yourself up with creating video content. Another thing is it's really good to tell the story behind your brand. There's lots of people that are making incredible things, but if people don't know like your story, or they don't have a feeling for what your brand's about, they may not engage with it as much. So you can obviously tell people your brand story through pictures on Instagram, but it is really good to use video because you can easily get across, like for me, I can get across my personality, but I can also show people what I do in terms of time lapse. So there's ways of using video if you don't feel comfortable like front face talking like I'm doing today. You can use time lapse and show people behind the scenes of your studio or workspace, or as I said, time lapsing something that you're creating. So there's lots of different ways of using it, but you've got to just do what's right for you, what you're comfortable doing. If it really scares you to talk, then you don't have to. But yeah, just be mindful that you've just got to use it in the most authentic way that works for you. But also think about the intention. Like, are you trying to educate people? So it might be something very kind of academic, like you're literally teaching a technique, or do you just want to show people a bit about you? So yeah, have a think about what the intention is. Are you trying to drive sales to a particular product? It's always good to have a think about that first before you start recording. Then we get on to content. So you would have worked out what your intention is, like why do you want to film, what do you want to film, what do you want to get out from it, and that will lead you into what you actually film. So as I said before, you don't have to speak, or if you do feel uncomfortable speaking, you could do a live with somebody else, which is a really good tool on Instagram to use. You could interview somebody, or as I said, it could just be a montage of video clips where you're not even actually speaking. People love seeing behind the scenes. I can't tell you enough how people just love delving into your world, whatever that may be. So yeah, just be open. If you're not sure, take a look around like other people's content, or what do you watch? What inspires you? That's always a good place to start. So often if you like watching something, then somebody will like what you create, and it kind of follows on from there. Another thing to note is just as much with kind of, you know, the quality of pictures that you would put up, just do be mindful of the quality of your videos. As I said at the beginning, you don't have to have fancy equipment, but obviously you can make life easier for yourself by recording, you know, in good light, without so much like noise and distraction. So although it can be lo-fi, it's just good to still make it as, you know, clear as it can be, unless it's kind of, you've got a tripod and you're doing a time lapse and everyone can hear everything. That's absolutely fine. You know, it has to be authentic to whatever you're filming. But yeah, just be mindful of all the points you would be ordinarily mindful of if you were taking a photograph. So they could still applies for like video content. And then what I would also say is there are little kind of tricks and tricks and tips that I tell you about in my course about how to kind of edit, and you know, there's really affordable apps out there which can just elevate your video from something standard to something amazing, and you can do that in a really kind of affordable way. And one of the things that I use that just has just elevated, if I'm doing kind of like behind the scenes or I'm doing a garden tour, is to use it's like a handheld. It's actually the really good brand is called Jobby, but this one is just like an Amazon equivalent. But just having something that's like handheld, and so you put your phone in here and it just really steadies your hand. And this is like one of the first things I bought, and it just kind of helped me with like things moving around and just keeping that frame really still, just really easy and quickly elevates your videos. So I have lots more tips on like what to get and what to film, how to film in my course. But thank you so much. It's been great to share these top 5 tips with you.